Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Butkus McNulty, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and
Tyler Hymanson.
My parents named me after all the football stars like Mad Dog and all this stuff. Yeah,
You want to be a linebacker?
that's all a reference to this week's movie, Cheaper by the Dozen 2 from 2005, the final Cheaper by the Dozen movie before the brand new reboot that comes out this Friday. But before we get into that, Eliz, where can people reach out to us?
Send us an email to sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on wherever you're listening to us. Give us 5 stars if you love us. If you hate us, send this podcast to your enemies. Punish them with it, and maybe they'll be listeners.
That's right. Speaking of listeners, thank you guys all for being here. New listeners and returning followers. We love you guys. Thanks for being here. Come join us now on a trip to Wisconsin.
Deep in the heart of these woods, there is something stirring. Something so wild, it is only a matter of time before it's unleashed.
Whoa! Tire swing not ready.
This Christmas,
Remember this place, guys? It looks smaller.
Yeah, why can't we rent that place?
Oh, well, that place is new. This place is...
Older.
all the bakers are back.
Honey, you actually bought that shirt?
Hey, every dad is entitled to one hideous shirt, one horrible sweater. It's part of the dad code.
And this time,
It's not gonna fit in your tent, Lorraine.
I'm gonna make it fit, Dad.
they're not alone.
Welcome to the Boulders.
Hi.
You brought your dog.
Just when you thought you were safe from Child Star Check-In, there's a whole nother family.
Yep, sure did think I was safe. Because a lot of the posters for this movie are just the original family with a Eugene Levy on the
Yeah,
side.
I was like, hey.
Like once I opened it on Disney Plus, they had the full thing with both families, and I was like, no,
damn it.
yeah. So Justin, you're a dad now. What is the one ugly sweater and one ugly shirt that you are entitled to?
Oh, God. Well, honestly, it's probably now my Bud Light Seltzer shirt that I bought at Lollapalooza. That Glory the other day saw it and was like, wait, you bought that? Just like in this movie.
It wasn't a free giveaway? No.
Because I think I said something like, yeah, I got it. She thought I got it for free. And I was like, no, I paid like $30.
Oh, God. Well, as a dad, that's your right.
It's my right. It's my right. Oh, you guys, it's a Wisconsin movie week.
Yeah.
This was so exciting.
Canada for Wisconsin.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. I did a lot of looking into Lake Winnetka. It is not real. I was like, that sounds like it could be a lake in Wisconsin, but it's not. And you know what? What better time to put out a nice summer vacation movie than Christmas?
Was it really?
The trailer's like this Christmas.
I missed that completely.
Oh, man.
That's dumb.
And I mean, it says it came out December 21st, 2005.
Oh my God.
But
Okay,
we don't
whatever.
have. There's no new Hillary Duff Christmas music.
It's true. They had no, and they had no Ice Age apparently, since Ice Age is in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the IMDb trivia right now, and it says that you guys might not know this, but this is really exciting stuff right here. The movie pays homage to Romeo and Juliet, with the Murtaughs and the Bakers spoofing the Montagues and the Capulets.
Oh, is that an homage? Oh my
I never
God.
noticed.
So anytime two people's families don't get along, it's a montage or an homage.
Yeah.
I remember that time in Romeo and Juliet when they did the three-legged race. Yeah. And the egg toss.
That's true. It can be dangerous. Mercutio meets an unfortunate end in that egg toss.
Yeah. He backed up too far and fell to his death. Well, the Baker clan is back, and I gotta say something really stupid. Today,
This is the place
when I
for
was
it.
sitting in my car, I was like, oh my God, Baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Shut up.
Yes, I don't know why. I think
We
it's
talked
because I was
about it
just
during like the first two movies.
Yeah, it didn't click with me at that moment.
Oh my God.
I was just out of it. I was sitting in the car driving, and I was like, oh my God, Baker's Dozen? That's so stupid.
Well, you're better than the marketing department because originally this movie was apparently called Cheaper by the 2 Dozen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, I gotta say that
There's not even the Murtaughs don't even have
They only have 8
kids.
But if you count
by the 2 dozen.
if you count Nora's
true?
husband and her unborn child, that'll at least get you up to 22.
Ooh, big stretch.
No, 20. And then, yeah.
Random landlord guy who shows up in all the scenes.
Yeah.
I hit play on this movie, and I gotta say that I did not expect there to be any parallels at all with Bells on Their Toes, but both films start with a graduation ceremony.
They really do.
Oh my God, it didn't even occur to me.
And I was like, oh my God, what? They also did a graduation ceremony in this?
Right.
And not just a graduation ceremony. There's a graduation where the Bakers have paid for a bartender for a thing. It is
Well,
a
that
whole
seemed like a separate party.
No, it's a whole shindig, right? Well, no, but it was her graduation
Yeah,
party,
yeah.
right? And then everybody has places to be. Steve Martin wants to play touch football with all the kids. And I was like, oh no, I got a thing to do. And it's you clearly spent thousands of dollars on this. No one's leaving this party.
Well, that seemed pretty realistic that the kids would be like, nah, I don't want to do
Yeah, but that was like a wedding level outdoor party.
That's true.
They don't get the option.
Yeah. I mean, you got to put it on the itinerary. Did he put it on the itinerary, or did he just assume everyone would stay? Come on, Steve.
Yeah.
Put it on the itinerary. Anyways, yeah, Hilary Duff's character graduating high school.
College?
High school.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because she was going to New York to go to
College.
An
yeah, she had
internship.
an internship.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I
yeah.
guess a college internship. Usually you
Because-
go to college first
well,
and then get, I thought it was
Hilary Duff is the same age as us. I
Yeah.
graduated college.
That's true. We
I
graduated high
graduated in
school
2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only say this because she's talked about it very publicly, but like right from the start of this movie, I was
Me
like,
too.
oh my God, she looks so skinny. It's like not great,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
knowing how she looks in like Lizzie McGuire in the first Cheaper by the Dozen movie. But she's talked publicly that like she said 17 to 19 were like the worst. I had, an eating disorder. I was way too skinny. She weighed like 100 pounds. But yeah, she does not look
Yeah, she was apparently
Great
eating
in this movie.
steamed vegetables and like boiled chicken, and to the point where like her hands would like clench up.
It's
and-
really messed up because, like, yeah, a lot of the reviews that I like, the blurbs of reviews that I read, most of them were commenting on her looks.
really
Or a lot of them were. Not all.
What, like,
her
so-
weight or just her looks.
This one from the Chicago Reader, who's a top critic, it said, Duff, who's gone from wholesome to haggard in 2 short years, is flat out scary. And that's like the clip.
That is
Oh
so
my
mean.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like, there's like a compassionate way to comment on that, and that is not it.
And there were,
Like,
yeah, on
Fame
Common
is
Sense
abuse,
Media,
friends.
some of
Fame
it-
yeah,
abuse.
I mean,
It's not great. It's not
2005, geez.
That's garbage.
Yeah.
great. Yeah. I mean,
Screw you,
yeah.
Chicago lady.
Yeah. I'm not going to say her name, but Chicago Reader, boo.
Boo.
Nobody's meaner to women than other women.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that.
But yeah, so we're, reintroduced to everybody in the family. I don't recall. It looked like almost everyone was back except maybe one kid.
Yeah, they were all
They were
back.
all back? Okay. There was just like one of the younger boys that I'm like, that guy doesn't look familiar.
I
to
mean,
me.
well, they hit puberty. Depending on when they hit
Yeah.
puberty,
Right.
they either look exactly the same or really
It
different.
was like all the other kids, I was like, oh yeah, those are all the same kids. But there was one of the like, I don't remember which.
I know
age it
who
was.
you're talking about. The younger,
One of the other skateboarding.
the
kids.
youngest
Oh,
boy
yeah.
that is not a twin.
Yes.
It's him.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
all. It's
okay.
all of them. They
He
all
just
came
didn't look
back.
familiar.
I did like that we got a clarinet through line that
Right.
the eldest, not
He's
the
now doing gigs.
Yeah,
for
he's doing
cash.
gigs.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Also, and the other thing, I messaged this to Tyler, but I wish that the first song it starts playing, and I wish that it was Wild Wild West, but it was Stevie Wonder. I wish, yeah.
Shit.
But I just thought that was so funny.
Again, they've spent a fuck ton of money on music. In this.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking random music that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Right.
Let's just have random songs for these, montages.
Yeah, and Nora is no longer with Ashton Kutcher. She's now with the guy from Mean Girls whose hair looks sexy pushed back.
Yep.
Jonathan Bennett.
So couple things on that. It's funny to me that she couldn't escape the advertising agency.
Right.
Where, like, they're still like, he's a president of an advertising agency or got that promotion or whatever.
Well, that's why you had to leave the advertising agency,
That's right.
Because you had to date someone outside the industry.
And I knew that dude because I watched that show Halloween Wars, and he hosted it.
He hosts those things now,
Well, no, he got kicked off of it for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess he's had some problems or whatever. But I always fucking hated him on
Aww.
So when I was like, he's so familiar. And then I was like, oh, it's that son of a bitch.
I hate that guy.
Well, I watched him on Dancing with the Stars a few years ago, and after Mean Girls, he struggled to kind of like get any roles really, and then like came out as gay, and people like made fun of him a bunch, and then but now he's obviously doing a lot better, and he's hosting a lot, and
I feel like he's kind of like a non-entity in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, she just needed to have a husband so they could have her be pregnant for the final thing.
Yeah, so the common sense media won't complain about her being pregnant out of wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this movie has one of the worst fake pregnancy
It's so
prosthetics
bad, yes.
I have ever seen in any movie.
There's so many movies where I'm like, that's not real at all. Come on. It's so fake.
But because this movie also, because it is 2005, it is the worst pregnancy prosthetic I've ever seen, and there's exposed midriff because it is 2005.
Yes.
And because they're at like summer cabin,
Yes.
It could be that she was wearing a support, like,
No,
It just looks like her stomach is out always, which is not terrible. It just looks bad because it's so fake looking.
Yeah.
It's like if they would have fully covered it up, maybe it would
and there's not enough weight on it. Like, she doesn't care. Like, it's just the way that she moves is very, anyway.
And she canoes at the end. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Fake. I'm kidding.
Fake canoe.
Fake. All of it fake.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty weird that they like were like, she can't canoe, and then they were like, okay, fine, she can, but it's like she could have just sat in the boat and not paddled, and probably would have been
I was like,
fine.
what's wrong with canoeing?
Yeah.
Other than she was gonna have her baby right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that. No, they don't know that.
This says Charlie's girlfriend Beth does not appear in this film. No explanation is given, but it's likely they broke up.
It was funny. I was like, yeah, she's not in the movie, and he's like courting this other girl. But I was like, it still looks like maybe he took the job at Beth's mom's like mechanic shop.
Yeah, this is one in Chicago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's still a mechanic.
Kind of like no story for him. He's gonna like drop out of college to be a mechanic, and we're all supposed to be like, oh, it's great that his dad's allowing this. I'm like, is it?
I don't know. all we know is he's super into tramp stamps.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That shot of the tramp stamp. And I know I shouldn't call it that. It's sexist, but it's a tramp stamp.
Back tattoo. Lower back tattoo.
Lower back tattoo. But
Hello,
it's like the
butterfly.
most stereotypical, like, fake butterfly.
Yeah, and there's this slow. It's like really artificial, terrible slow motion. That's like, whoa, like he's staring at it. Oh my.
That's like it's the back tattoo, and then it's also just a butt shot.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
so weird.
Everybody involved should feel bad. The cinematographer should feel bad. The director should feel bad. The editor should feel bad.
And the way that it's like so poorly done makes me think like, oh, in post they were like, oh, we should maybe like add this so like it really is clear that he's seeing this.
Is the point that when he sees it again, he didn't realize it was her?
I don't think so.
I think what the movie was trying to do is like, oh wait, like you were the girl that I saw swimming?
I don't know.
Because like they're doing this whole thing where like, no, like she looked like a weirdo before or something.
I think they were just like, he sees, oh, a hot girl with the back tattoo, and then later he's like, oh, it's the same girl. I'm gonna use this, like, against her with her dad.
Yeah, but I think they knew each other before that.
They did.
Yeah, they
did
did, but I don't think he recognized her when she was swimming.
Oh.
I think that's what they're trying to pull off. It was just like, oh, like that was you were the hot girl I saw.
At least it wasn't
Yeah,
the
I
mom.
guess.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Carmen Electra.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So we should talk about the Murtaughs and who they are.
Yeah, so the whole movie, they're Steve Martin is worried about the family not getting to like be together much anymore. Everyone's going off and doing their own thing, so he decides they're gonna go back to Lake Winnetka in Wisconsin and stay at this old lake house that they used to stay at, where they had a rivalry with the Murtaughs.
Right. Also, we find out that Nigel and Kyle's middle names are Lake and Winnetka because they were conceived there.
That was actually pretty funny.
I did like that they're like, I'll go anywhere with my name on it.
They're funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyone know what their middle name would be under this logic? I have no idea. Maybe
no
Hawaii.
idea.
I don't know.
I couldn't even guess, honestly. I have no idea.
Honeymoon.
Yeah. So they arrive there and we quickly learn about the Murtaughs. It was a whole situation where they used to go there all the time, and there's always this big Labor Day family, lake family, like summer games kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they had like previously lost to the Murtaughs by like 2 points or something. And
right.
So there's this big rivalry between Steve Martin and Eugene Levy's character.
But Eugene Levy also has like a weird chip on his shoulder because Steve Martin was more popular than him in high school.
Right. Yeah.
Even though Eugene Levy's now like the rich bully guy.
Yep.
Which he's not usually. He's usually the nerdy guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting.
It was cool kind of to see him like that.
And his wife is Carmen Electra.
Yeah. Wife number 3?
4.
Oh, okay. I thought she said.
I think she said then you have to get a fourth wife.
She said you'll have to look for wife number 4.
Yeah. I was like, I think she's wife number 3, but yeah. The time when he introduces her and she's like, "We've been married for 6 lovely months." And his reaction is like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. That's great." Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is such a good asshole.
Well, and I thought it was weird. Like, okay, so we've already got 12 kids, a husband, and a baby on the way on the Baker side, right? And so in the first one, they really all got at least like one character moment. In this one, forget it. Half of them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got nothing. You got no storyline. But now you have a whole nother family that's being introduced with 8 kids and a third wife.
And a werewolf. No, it's a purple Yeti, or what did they say?
Oh yes, yeah.
Purple Bigfoot.
Because they wanted to do the dog and meat trick again.
Yes. So there's just so many characters that like the other kids, like you don't even know like a lot of their names or anything about them in the Murtaugh family, but still I think like their storyline is supposed to be that their dad is like pushing them too hard, and Carmen Electra like actually is like, no, you gotta loosen up, you're gonna lose your kids, this is bad, etc. Like she's being a pretty good stepmom, but yeah. I was like, there's no mention of like what happened to these kids' mothers.
Yeah.
Like because they've only been married 6 months, so none of them are her kids. And so I'm like, did the mothers die? Are they just like living elsewhere?
That's a good
and they
question.
said, like I was like, just like the tiniest line about this could have made any of them more whole as a character.
Yeah, like why is the mom not involved?
And yeah, they didn't really seem to have any reaction or thoughts about Carmen Electra's character either.
Yeah, no.
So like it wasn't like a thing where it's like, ooh, we don't like our new stepmom, she's a bimbo. Like that wasn't the case.
They just seemed like it was her mom. Yeah,
well, yeah, they were just
to the movie's credit, I did enjoy that.
Right.
They did not make her out to, like she was
a
decent human being who was trying her best.
Yeah, and her and Bonnie Hunt are having none of this competition.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever, these guys are stupid. They're swinging their summer camp dicks around trying to beat each other. Like,
yep.
So yeah, these poor like long suffering, I guess 6 months suffering wives. Yeah, but I think like any of the kids that actually talked to the Baker kids could have had so much more depth if they had just been like, oh, my mom died and so and so's nice, but like my dad's just been such a jerk ever since, or something like that.
Yeah, they
like,
really should have gone into the details about how she died during the games in order to win that final year.
She was pregnant with the 9th kid on the canoe, and he let her die.
That's right.
In childbirth on
just
the
so
boat.
He could win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have to just assume that she was dead. Otherwise, she's just a terrible, terrible mother.
That's right.
Right. Well, I mean, it's one thing to send your kids off to the lake house for the summer with their dad.
No, she was in New York doing the speaking engagements.
Oh, right. But he seemed to be controlling like every aspect of their lives.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were just there for the
summer. And it didn't seem to be like a co-parenting, like, well, we'll decide if you can leave Harvard once I speak to your mother. Nothing like that. No. So
yeah. And it's true. Like the Murtaugh family, I think we get to kind of like hear and slightly know like 4 of them, maybe.
Yeah.
I think
Taylor
3.
Lautner,
Taylor Lautner, yes. And then there's the one
Jamie King.
Jamie King.
yeah.
And then the one
with
that gets
Mark.
the redheaded kid in trouble. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
The like Daredevil-y kid.
And it was funny. I was like, actually, one of the older guys I thought actually kind of looked like an older Taylor Lautner.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I was like, there was a couple of shots where I was like, oh my God, is that like a grown up Taylor Lautner? Some weird time traveling movie. But yeah. The main one of the main kids storylines is Taylor Lautner and Allison Stoner this time
right.
around.
Yeah, they really like double down on the like, okay, we're only going to give the famous ones storylines this time, you know? So like Allison Stoner is the most famous out of the younger group, so she gets a whole like a very strange, not gross, but still just sort of clunky.
It's not a good message.
Going on a first date, dressing up type thing.
Yeah, it's not a good like you have to have a makeover in order to like get
No,
this.
I don't think that she had to. Like, I think it was like
She wanted one.
Yeah, and their whole point was like he already liked you before, so don't worry about it. But yeah, you can dress up for this date and it's fine. So, and it was a good bonding moment for her and Lorraine. I guess.
mean, who didn't dress up to go see Ice Age? Really, you're getting dressed up for the voice of Dennis Leary.
That 20th Century Fox synergy.
That's right.
Of course, they're seeing Ice Age.
I never saw that.
That's fine.
I saw the 4th one.
Oh,
I had to take my cousins to a movie.
Is that the dinosaur one?
I don't know.
Oh, well, you saw it. I don't know. I didn't watch that far.
I just remember it's the one that's called Continental Drift.
Oh, okay. That's
So
not
I think
the
it's like
dinosaur.
a
Tokyo Drift
Pangea situation. Yeah.
Justin Lin's there.
The dinosaur one is called Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
Okay.
Oh no, it definitely wasn't that.
Super obvious.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the whole stupid movie thing with the dads?
We can talk about that. I was like, no, that's what we're doing, Justin.
Yeah, you want to talk about the
thing of
movie or
podcast,
what?
yeah. They both spy on them at the date, which is not that horrifying in and of itself because they're like 12, so it's like, okay, you know, the dad's in the theater like way far away, but then they start arguing with each other and like literally throw Steve Martin off the balcony.
Yeah.
He almost did. Eugene Levy almost murders Steve.
Right,
Martin in this
right.
moment.
I want to talk about how it looked like there were more adults in that theater than children.
Well,
There were
they're cheaper.
I was like, there were so many. Yeah, that's
By the
true.
dozen.
There were like so many like adults by themselves in the background as extras for this movie. That's rated G, like they say in the thing. I just thought that was funny. Just weird that they didn't have they could have populated it with more kids, but.
I thought it was very polite how the little kid sitting behind them was like, "Excuse me, sir, could you please sit down?" Like I was like, "Oh wow!" I would have been like, "Sit down in front,"
Yeah.
you know.
Also, I was like, that kid disappeared, but then I saw that he was like over.
He probably just moved.
Yeah, he moved back to like his parents, like further down the aisle or
Yeah.
something. But I was like, where'd he go? Yeah, but I mean, this is one of the scenes where like I don't know, this movie for me was pretty much just devoid of laughs.
Yeah.
I thought that Steve Martin is just being too wacky and not in a funny way.
Yeah. If he was phoning it in the last movie, he's still phoning it in, but he left the phone off the hook and he's in the other room.
Yeah. Like the scene, like
working on a dinner, working on a recipe.
one of the scenes that went from like kind of funny to like, no, this is too much for me is like the singing competition thing that they were having across the lake.
Yeah.
Like where the Bakers are like, oh, they're, both families are out having a camp out. And, Steve Martin's character is like, all right, let's sing a camp song. And they start singing that Mike Finnegan song. And then Eugene Levy's family hears them singing and they're like, we should sing too. And they sing like this glorious rendition
Harmony
of Will the Circle Be Unbroken, which only makes me think of Bioshock Infinite all the time. But yeah, they've got this like rehearsed harmonizing, like runs and vocal runs and all this stuff. But just like the look on Steve Martin's face in that thing where he's just getting so manic, like we gotta keep singing and everyone's happy. Just was like too over the top. Not
Yeah,
not
and
funny
they're
for me.
is this ridiculous? Like they don't. Yeah, they all supposedly come around in the end and like focus on what's important, but like only because there was like a life or death medical emergency.
yeah.
Like, had that not happened, like, I don't think they either would have learned anything from this.
I have found it's not common sense, but it is like a rating, and it gives a rundown and breaks down into the important things that categorize a movie for this website. And it has faith at a 0, none. There's no faith in this movie. Integrity, integrity 0. The two dads wrestle in the theater. Runaway golf cart driven by kid causes damage.
How does that have to do with integrity?
It's gets you a score of 0 on integrity. Okay. Sex 1. A character watches a girl closely as she sunbathes in water.
She was swimming.
Language 1. Sweet Jesus, not meant as biblical profanity. PO 1, OMG 1. I don't know what PO is.
Piss off?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm PO'd. I'm pissed off.
Drugs. Some alcohol scenes. Couple scenes sipping wine.
Oh, there's that one scene where she's like, here, this will help you breathe, and gives him a glass of wine.
Nudity 1. Cleavage.
Hey, that was on a lot of reviews. Like, there's too much cleavage in this movie.
Oh my God.
On Common Sense Media, the parents.
Which is actually one of the funnier things in this movie, where Bonnie Hunt gets all of her clothes get covered in
orange juice.
Like extremely orange juice. I was like, would it look like that?
It was Sunny D.
And then has to go, and Carmen Electra's being very, very nice and gets her a shirt from her collection.
Yeah.
And it's just incredibly low cut. Bonnie Hunt looks great in it.
It says hot mom.
It says hot mom on it, which is
In
a little bit
rhinestones.
unfortunate. Yeah. Which
was pretty typical for the time, honestly.
Yeah. And it's just and the way it's played off, like Steve Martin's is flirting and clearly enamored by this, but it's not like to slut shame Carmen Electra in any way. I think I think it's actually kind of well handled.
It just shows that she never bothers to dress like that because she's So
and so you're right. There's cleavage in this movie.
Oh no, cleavage.
Oh my gosh.
I like how this movie ups the ante on like deadly pranks that go wrong.
Right. And I mean, if we actually stop and like try to think about Steve Martin's parenting in this, it's horrible because he encourages his daughter to play like a potentially extremely dangerous prank on someone in a like actually harmful, like what's the word I'm searching for? Mean way. Like, it's not a joke prank.
Malicious.
It's like malicious. Thank you. I'm losing it. So yeah, it's very malicious, and it's not like Eugene Levy would be in on the joke in any way, and he could really get hurt. And he's like, he says to his young daughter, like, do you still possess your dark gifts?
Yeah, that was kind of messed up. But I guess that was a reference to the first film.
Right.
So. I can't believe they had another dog sex scene, just like they mentioned in the last movie.
One thing that's on the Goofs and IMDb trivia, which I feel for Carmen Electra, apparently she's very allergic to dogs. And after the scene where the dog leaps on her, you can see that she has like red hives all over her arms.
God, why didn't they do this?
Oh, jeez.
That's crazy.
There was like a shot in the like little behind the scenes thing on the DVD where they were filming like the reaction of the kids being like, Gunner, get off him. And it was like, you saw it cut to like a guy with just like a giant dog stuffed animal like on him. Like, I thought that looked kind of funny. So they did do some of that, I guess, but you have to get the shots of Carmen Electra.
I guess so.
But you guys, you know what's like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life?
Them running on that tube or whatever?
No. Elderly, wheelchair-bound people.
Oh my God, yes, what was up with that? Why is that supposed to be funny?
I don't know.
Who was that guy?
Because we saw Wayne Knight die off a ladder 5 times in the last movie.
He wasn't disabled.
Yeah, I know.
And like, who was that? Like at the end,
It was just some yacht club guy who just kept
but
getting
it's
shoved
not like he
into,
had his foot in a cast, so you were like, oh, he's not paraplegic. He's just in a wheelchair because he's injured temporarily. It's like, no, this was a guy who uses a wheelchair in his daily life and may or may not be able to get himself swim.
Yeah. And then like as they're pulling him out of the water at the end of the movie for the second time, he's like, "Go Bakers!" And I was just like, this guy's like invested in this. Like, who is this dude?
Well, the Bakers knocked him in the first time at the party with the fireworks.
Where,
the second time, I would find it was the Murtaughs.
I mean, the fireworks thing, there would be so many deaths or injuries.
Right.
Maybe not deaths, but like some pretty bad injuries happening there.
And police action
Yes,
and
yes.
The damages. I love how many times the kids just completely fuck up this country club. Like, we're willing to let it slide this time.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times.
My kids aren't screw-ups. They screwed up, but they're not screw-ups. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it is easy sometimes to crash a golf cart.
Right. I also have crashed a golf cart.
I crashed a golf cart
It
once.
ran out of battery when I was going downhill. And I was like, no.
I've never crashed a golf cart, but I have been thrown from one because I was standing. Because my friend who was driving it,
Golf cart
we
stories.
were teenagers and drove a little bit aggressively, trying to throw me off of it, not realizing that how brutal that would be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm fine now.
You're supposed to have a driver's license to drive a golf cart.
Yeah.
Sure.
I drove a golf cart for like 5 or 6 years before I ever had a driver's license.
You make it sound like that you were driving a golf cart like to school.
I mean, I was driving it around
On the
the
road.
school, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're on the 405 in
Yeah, I
the
mean,
golf cart.
USC is practically the 405.
Oh man. Yeah. I was just like, we were on the golf course and
Of all places.
I was just driving too fast just for fun. And like
Right.
I was heading towards a tree and I tried to turn, but then there was like a bump. So it didn't actually turn and
didn't
I
get
went
the traction.
straight into the
Oh,
tree.
yeah.
And the steering wheel went right into my stomach.
Oh,
And
no.
it hurt so bad.
Oh, no.
But it was kind of funny.
You're trying to pull off that continental drift. And
I know, I was like, no. I was just fucking around. We didn't get in any trouble or anything.
Yeah, I was very insistent that this was not my fault, and everyone was like, "No, it definitely wasn't. It's dead." Because I was like, "It's not stopping."
The brakes are
Right.
That's so funny. Everyone's got a golf cart story.
they're cheaper by the dozen.
Yeah.
I reached out. To try to get a sponsor this week, but unfortunately, Sparkling Cheesehead Bubbly didn't get back to us.
Oh, God.
What was that? You reached out
I reached
for Reacher by the Dozen?
Watch all 9 episodes. Okay, well, do you want to hear about these kids?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, first I want to mention that in the theater, one of the background actors was Ben Falcone, Melissa McCarthy's husband, who honestly, I think she's always better when he's not the director, but maybe that's a controversial opinion.
I don't think so.
Yeah, anyway, he's
His
there.
movies aren't great. Sorry.
No. Okay, so the Murtaughs. Anne Murtaugh, Jamie King, we talked about. She's been in tons and tons of things, but her next couple movies coming out are Lights Out, Not That Lights Out, and another movie called Banshee, which are both action movies.
Oh.
Sounds like she's going to be using a lot of guns and fighting.
So this came out, she was in Sin City
Right before this.
right before this.
Yeah. Elliot, Taylor Lautner, hashtag Team Jacob. This movie actually came out the same year as Shark Boy, so he is riding high, little teeny bopper heartthrob right now. So
Nice.
good for him. Kenneth Murtaugh is Alexander Conti. He is now a real estate agent in Toronto.
Nice.
Becky Murtaugh, Melanie Tonello, is a Canadian voice actor, best known for her role as Princess Sparkle in the show Spider Riders.
Never heard of that in my life.
It's some Canadian cartoon.
I mean,
Spider
Spider Riders.
It does rhyme.
Yeah, I mean, that's low-hanging fruit right there. I'm
Right,
surprised.
Yeah, they should make an American version.
Spider.
Hasbro's cursing right now.
Yeah. Daniel Murtaugh is Robbie Amell, who I was like, oh, the Green Arrow. And then I was like, no, that's Stephen Amell, his cousin.
Oh.
And so Robbie
Iron Fist.
Amell is also in the DCWEU. He's a friend of the Flash and in the is the Tomorrow People? Is that part of DC? It's just another CW show.
Legends of Tomorrow? Or
No, anyways.
I think that Tomorrow People's a CW, just a straight.
It's just a CW show. It's not part of DC.
I'm not sure.
Okay, anyways, he's in
Although-
that.
When you described the DCWE, it sounded like a wrestling league.
Oh, yeah, that was a joke.
Okay.
DC, CW, DCWEU. Come on. All right, fine. It wasn't a very good joke.
I want to hear them wrestle now.
that's the guy from Upload. Yeah.
Well, and I was about to say.
Sorry.
God, he's the star of Upload on Amazon
like that
Prime
show. That's a
with
great
Reacher.
Sorry.
I'm too scared to watch it. It looks scary.
It's not scary. It's funny.
Okay. Lisa Murtaugh, Courtney Fitzpatrick. These are the twin daughters the Murtaughs have. Courtney is still pounding the pavement in the industry. She's a production coordinator and art department. And her sister Madison, who is Robin Murtaugh, I could not figure out what she's doing because apparently Madison Fitzpatrick is too common of a name. Calvin Murtaugh, Sean Roberts, is best known for his recurring role as Albert Wesker in the Resident Evil movies. I do not remember who that is, even though I think I watched those movies with you.
Yeah, we did watch them.
Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy with the sunglasses.
Okay.
He's like a big
works
umbrella.
for Umbrella.
He's an umbrella big bad.
He's like a big umbrella.
All right.
He is an umbrella.
If you stand underneath him, you will not get wet.
Does he work with the guy from Game of Thrones or whatever? I don't know. That's all I remember.
Who's from Game of Thrones in those movies?
Is that not the right movies? The
You think about
Jonah
Under-
Mormont guy, isn't him?
I don't remember.
Okay, fine.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
mind.
no, I think he is.
All
Or is he
right,
in
so that's it
Underworld?
for the Murtaughs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8?
8.
Hold on. Let's just pause really quick because we just mentioned 2 film series that we've
8,
all
yeah, there we
watched that we watched in their entirety and did not do podcasts about, which is Resident Evil and Underworld.
Yeah.
We have.
Wait, when did we talk about Underworld?
He mentioned it just.
I just mentioned, yeah, because we were like, well, maybe that's where Jorah Mormont was in. Was he in Underworld or was he in Resident
Maybe.
Evil?
I don't think I watched Underworld with you. I don't
Okay.
think I was there that day. But and also Twilight, Justin's favorite movie series.
Yeah, that's right.
And then
That's where I was born.
right. I also have a few bonus
You're
Child
saying
Star
it's a new
check-ins. Theater Kid that we talked about.
Can you guys sit down? Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew Knight. He was the star, the main boy in the United States Grudges, the American Grudges.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait,
I was
The
like,
Grudge 2?
Grudges?
Yeah, I think he was in 3 of them.
Oh, man.
All 3 of
With
them.
the milk?
The milk scene.
I can't remember any of that. I blocked it all out.
You better not say milk again on the podcast.
Oh, my God. Yeah, fair enough. Fair.
Jordan, are you listening?
God damn it. I feel like I've talked about the Grudge 2 milk scene on this podcast before.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Theater Kid. And he's now married and he has a kid. The Dubner family, which was a athletically suspect family that
was funny.
They were making fun of, I guess.
Yeah, it was just
like, you won't even beat the Dubners.
Right. So I have 2
A sight gag of a
Dubners.
family.
Yes.
Yeah. Eli Henry or Ellie Henry was one of the Dubners. He was the younger Dubner, and he is one of the homeschooled kids in the Mean Girls that says that God invented the Remington action rifle to kill the dinosaurs and the homosexuals. So he's that kid.
Oh, no.
And he also was recurring on Suburgatory. He is a voice in that movie Smallfoot. And then he was also a main character on that COVID show, Connecting, that was all over Zoom. And it was, I think it was on NBC or something. Anyways, he was in that. And then the other older Dubner, Haley Warnstall, is now an apartment leasing manager in Canada.
Oh, a
Can't believe-
lettings agent.
Yeah. A lettings
Lettings
agent.
agent.
I can't believe they all got credited.
Yeah,
For that.
for being in the Dubners. Yeah. Well,
that one scene where they're, "I can't
1952
they all
where you don't
got
even
credit."
credit the main family.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a credit, and if they don't, they put it on IMDb themselves.
Like, this guy had 6 scenes and a whole 7 pages of lines and doesn't get credited. Ashton Kutcher not credited.
That
Joe
is what
Scales.
IMDb has brought to us.
What these movies
Who is
have
Joe Scales?
have left us out on the Joe Scales mystery. Okay, there's no Joe Scales in any of these movies.
Yeah. He doesn't come back. He could come back in the reboot. We'll see.
This is probably the first Cheaper by the Dozen movie of all the 4 that we've watched so far that doesn't have like a comically inappropriate boy like going
I
for one
think
of the
Piper
girls.
Parabo's husband's supposed to be that
But
a little
he's
bit.
fine. He's pretty good. He's a nice husband. He's down to get in the stupid competition with the family.
Yeah.
You know, he's a little bit like, oh, we want to eat vegan
He's a
food
little bit
or whatever.
crunchy
But
granola,
he's also like not that into it because he's like, oh my God, s'mores.
Yeah.
Like, so,
My parents never
he
let
can
me
be
have this.
easily, you know, corrupted to the Baker ways. But yeah, the fact that Alison Stoner, her little boy crush, was freaking Taylor Lautner, like that. I mean, sorry, Joe Scales, but you know.
Yeah. We were talking about how this movie has no laughs. The only time that I laughed and the one sight gag that I thought was really hilarious.
Old guy going in the lake. Yeah.
No. That was just like, what? Too much. No, it was. There's a moment when like Steve Martin is just like out in front of the lake house, and all of a sudden you hear someone like off screen like go Tom, and there's like a boat going by where the guy like on a like water skiing behind, and he just water skis up and walks right up onto the beach just to be like, hey, your kids should come over, and it was like Eugene Levy's character, and I just thought that was a hilarious entrance for him, and it seemed like in character with what he
And then he hops into a monoski that was sitting on the dock right there to leave.
And
So
he's
it
just
wasn't
like,
like he
bye.
was. It wasn't like he was.
It was a planned moment on his part.
Like, did he swim over to? Was his daughter swimming over to the dock to place the ski over there?
Yeah, while he was having the conversation,
while he was doing
someone else.
barefoot.
Also, like, does Steve Martin even have a job? Like, because they say he resigned from the college, and then Eugene Levy makes a joke about the mom being the one to bring home the bacon with her books. But what does Steve Martin even do now? Like, is he at a high school?
He's probably at a high school.
They don't even mention it, and then it's still like we have to stay at this cabin that this guy lets us stay at for free, and it's in disrepair and it's messed up, and that's part of the joke. Ha ha, we're so poor, and it's like
They don't have enough money to stay at the Boulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, we've gone this entire podcast and no one has mentioned the Chiseler yet.
The rat?
Ela's with a look of, what's that?
What's the Chiseler? Yeah.
The most adorable, cleanest rat that apparently cannot
CG rat.
that cannot run and has to jump
Yeah.
everywhere it goes.
I was like, it's either CG or extremely well-trained rat. It did look kind of CG.
No, well,
sometimes.
no, it was definitely CG, and the walk cycles are hard, friends, and that is why this rat has moon shoes on as it runs.
It's a very
across.
athletic rat.
It bounds across the
Chiseler.
It also is the dumbest fucking plot point where like the rat's been there for 10 years. And they go into the wall when they're trying to get it, and the rat has taken like
The family flag.
a family flag, like giant objects, and stashed them inside the walls.
It's like they skip over that part really quickly of the family like making the decision to go join in the games.
Yeah, because we need to get to the hilarity.
The
of-
hijinks.
of physical comedy.
it's not
with
even
Steve Martin and
hijinks.
Eugene Levy.
But like that's
Hijinks.
I get that we got to get to that, but then like when we do, it goes by so fast that
Yeah.
it's just a one montage set to like
Of-
vacation song. And I'm just like, why this song? I don't get it.
Because it's meant to be spent alone, not with your 14 to 15 family
I
members.
don't think it was it was Holiday by Madonna. So I sang the
okay,
wrong
sorry.
song, but it's the same type of thing. Okay, same thing.
I also love how there's a plot point at the end of this where the last thing that they have to do is everyone has to participate. And it's like, well, my daughter's like super pregnant. And they're like, well, you're going to have to resign then.
There is no universe in which that committee would have said, you have to resign if your 9 months pregnant daughter can't go. They would have just been like, okay, everybody else go.
Yeah,
Or
so
the fact that you already have 5 more people than the other family. Like, just let her sit this one out. And also 4 other kids.
And then the solution is her being like, I can do it. Like, I'll be there. And it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't.
I did like that the Murtaughs had like a let's go. Like they were like formed like
with the canoes.
Yeah, they were like 3, 4.
She should have just sat on the boat. Yeah. In high school when we would compete in Girl Scout boating competition thing, I had to do this competition where one person is on the beach and in semaphore flags they do like an 8-letter code, and then another person has to write down the letters, and then 2 other people have to get on a canoe with a third person in the middle just sitting there translating the letters into Morse code. Then you have to boat all the way around a buoy, hand off the paper to someone who's in a rowboat who then has to take it back and then have it like semaphored back into letters.
Was that for your Riddler badge?
It should have been, but no, Girl Scouts are not like badge based like the Boy Scouts. It's more about like, you know, accomplishing things.
Like Bob's Burgers doing real things.
Yeah. So, you know,
that's funny.
I still know my code flags. Steve Martin's shirt was not code flags; they were just countries. Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, it's a weird shirt." Like,
flags of the world. She could have been the coxswain on the front. She could have been row.
Yeah.
None of that.
I know this movie was not directed by Sean Levy, but
he's in it.
We get another cameo of him.
We do.
And he has way more lines this time.
He does.
He plays like the, I don't know, like the nurse that they run into at the front desk of the hospital.
Director cameo, Adam Shankman is like the buffet chef.
At the clam bake with no clams.
No clam bake. There's a clam frittata.
Which, wow, what a way to like ruin perfectly good like clams,
right?
Yeah.
Unless maybe they weren't fresh, and so they were like, "Let's hide them in a frittata."
Yeah, this is also a thing where when they end up at the hospital at the end, everyone just like bum rushes into the back of the hospital. There's like, this is not how hospitals happen.
No. Well, they don't let them get away with it though. They have to kick them back out.
I did feel like that the Pepsi products in this movie made me feel old because I was like, wow, that's 2005. That looks like it's from 1992.
Like the
I didn't
logos?
even see any Pepsi. Where was
when
that?
they're in the waiting room while all the kids are playing cards.
they were
and
having a
shit.
Pepsi?
Well, yeah, they were drinking Pepsi while they're waiting for the grandson.
Interesting.
Grandson. Yeah, I mean, so
the taste of a new generation. This was right around the Britney Spears. So like it's an old Pepsi can, but it was right around the Britney Spears Pepsi commercial.
Okay.
You know so much about Pepsi.
The only sponsorship I noticed in this one really bad was the Sea-Doo stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
The kids were like, let's go out on the Sea-Doos right now.
Yeah. I was annoyed
it's called a jet ski.
I was annoyed by the Sugar Ray in the movie.
I just want to fly.
Yeah. That was my annoying sponsorship. JK. It wasn't sponsorship.
But it was. It was an
Also,
endorsement.
they
It was
paid
an
a lot of money
endorsement.
to get the Jaws theme in there.
They really did.
Right.
Come on, you guys.
And there were like no sharks or animals of any kind
The people
in the
that I was
water.
watching this movie with laughed at that moment, and I was dumbfounded.
Oh, no. Now, you'll have to tell me later who you're watching. I'm going to be like, why?
No comment.
Why, you guys? Why?
All right. Let's wrap this up. This movie is like...
This is not a movie.
It's
It is-
offensively unoffensive. It's just there.
It's there. It's not. I love one of the IMDb trivias is this is actually not a sequel. It is a remake to the 1952 Bells on Their Toes. I'm like, it is not.
What? Dude, if this movie opened and they were like, Steve Martin died. I would have like, oh, shit.
And now, now Bonnie Hunt has to do football coaching. She has to coach football.
I wonder if Oprah ever came.
To the house? Oh, okay.
I was like, are you going to finish that sentence?
I think there's a whole South Park episode.
You just ended it like, if she ever...
There's a whole South Park episode about that. Anyway.
Oh, man. Yes, welcome to our new podcast where we
the
discuss
house?
which celebrities we feel have never been sexually satisfied.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, boy.
Well,
What's
cool.
the rating system?
I was going to say on a 1 to 10 of the Joe Scales, but
On a Joe Scales of 1 to 10.
but Joe Scales is not in this movie. I would say, oh boy, there's not even like
How many,
There's not if you're looking for footholds of something to have a rating system, there's usually like a weird nook and cranny. This is just a smooth surface.
How about how many dining sets from the King of Thailand?
Oh, yeah. How many dining sets from the King of Thailand? Which I did look up. I was like, was there still a King of Thailand in 2005?
You looked that up?
I did.
I was
There
just
was.
like,
There was?
There
that's
is.
just-
There is?
that's a dumb
is.
joke.
Is he like a figurehead or is he actually a head of
It's
state?
figurehead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yes. So, yes. How many China sets from the King of Thailand would you give Cheaper by the 2 dozen?
I would say that the King of Thailand gave me 2 dining
Whoa!
sets because this movie is kind of terrible.
Yeah.
I would almost give it a 1, but I think that, honestly,
It's fine.
yeah, it's fine, but it's less fine than last week's movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I was like, oh, this one you could actually enjoy and watch, and this one I'm just like, it's not funny to me, but I do think that there's a type of person that would just think that this stuff is hilarious, and those people are probably kids. Steve Martin getting dragged behind a boat, really funny to somebody, probably not me.
Just let go if that happened. People out there
let go.
in movies, if you're being dragged behind a boat while you're water skiing, let go.
Yeah, you don't have to go over that jump unwillingly.
I did like about that scene though that Alison Stoner and Jacob were just having the most boring conversation. Like, oh, so what's your favorite subject at school? I don't know, math. Like, they just like weren't paying attention. to
He's back
him.
there like, yeah. It was, it's just filled with like way over the top stuff that, I feel like you only could think it's funny if you're a child who's never seen a movie
Right.
before. So yeah, I don't really recommend it.
Okay. I'm going to give it 3 sets of China from the King of Thailand because, I agree that this is like the worst one yet, even including the old movies because
Yeah.
those are at least like interesting. This is just like so basic. It's just a bunch of like really dumb sitcom tropes like roped together and all 20 kids get shrift and the husband. All 21 of the next generation don't get enough to do and both wives, because the entire movie is just about these 2 old white guys, like, and their toxic masculinity and trying to compete against each other in stupid, like, things that mean nothing.
And 2 old white guys that are comedy geniuses that we
Right.
know that are far more capable of
Like,
being funny than
Eugene
this.
Levy doesn't get to do anything funny, I feel.
Right.
Nothing.
Really, yeah. I mean, don't watch this and go watch Schitt's Creek or literally
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
It's just like so boring. It literally did nothing, and just sad. And I guess I don't know why I didn't go down to 2, but because it's a perfectly
Yeah, I said 2 and you were
fine-
like, what?
Well, just because I didn't expect you to go down that far because
Oh,
you
yeah.
liked the other one more. But just because it's fine. It's a doable movie, but ugh.
It's 2 sets of China from the King of Thailand because it is a squanderance of real actual talent. There is no reason for this movie, excuse me, to be this bad. And it is just a non-movie. It is a semblance of scenes, much like the one in the 1950s, but at least that had some interesting oddities to it, where this has no excuse not to have a script. And I will say that the director's movie that came out the same year as this, I think only a few months before, The Pacifier, is rated much higher. So maybe he put all of his creative energy into that Vin Diesel vehicle.
Yeah.
Also, would it have killed the family if Piper Perabo had had a black husband?
No.
I mean, that family, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. I got to imagine, though, it seems like, okay, so this movie came out in 2005. I don't know if you looked at the Wikipedia about the box office, but it says it's one of only 12 feature films to be released in over 3,000 theaters and still improve on its box office performance in the second weekend, increasing 55.6%, which I'm like, Man, I gotta imagine like maybe they did try to do a third one, and Steve Martin was just like, no, I'm done.
I'm going to make Shop Girl a novella.
Yeah, I'm done, you guys. But yeah, there was no Cheaper by the Dozen 3, and we have to wait all the way till this Friday.
So Zach Braff gets desperate.
Yeah, for Cheaper by the Dozen 2022. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that's going to bring us to the end of Cheaper by the Dozen 2.
Yeah.
Wait, we need to like make some predictions.
Yeah, what do you think? I did watch the trailer once. So I know that they are also the Bakers, but I don't know if they're related. I don't know if there's
also saw the posters, and the parents are listed as like 1 of 12, 2 of 12.
So not a full.
I think there's some adoption
kids
going on. With
You think
some
there's
of the kids.
adoption?
I think with some of the kids, yes.
I could see
I think
that.
it's just a blended family. Like he had kids, she had kids. They got together and they had a couple more kids.
I've seen some. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't know what the other parents are like. But
yeah, there are some very clearly full white kids in the family.
Yeah.
And there's also the 2 dogs that have their own posters as well, but they're considered like bonus of the 12.
Bone is?
Yeah, I forget what it said. It said like
I'm kidding.
It's the 13th of the Baker's Dozen. You get dogs for free.
I guess so. But I mean, even though, thank God, Bonnie Hunt did not get pregnant at the end of any of these movies, I still want to say that I think at the end of the movie, they'll be like, oh my God, Gabrielle Union's pregnant with twins. We're going to have 12 kids. Like, I'm still predicting it.
Do you guys think there's
Yeah.
going to be any connections or references at all to the Steve Martin ones, or even the?
I think there'll be
Original?
more references to the original than there are to the Steve Martin ones.
Oh.
I feel like there'll be no like Gilbreth mentions.
Maybe.
There were
I don't
no
think they're-
Gilbreth mentions.
Well, they still have to
in
give
this.
him credit.
Right. But like within the actual film, like I get
Do you
that.
think, what do you think that they do for a living? Influencers?
Please, no.
I think no. Actually, I did. I think I read this. I don't want to say.
Oh, you don't want to say?
Yeah,
Are
'cause
they
I-
ad
'cause-
executives?
No. I think it's like a video game
Oh, boy.
thing
Oh, no.
from what I saw.
Okay.
Or maybe that was a different. Maybe that was for the Santa Claus. I don't know. I was reading something
Hard
recently
to
where they
know.
said it something like that.
I think that was the Santa Claus. I think that's Cal Penn's
Yeah,
thing.
I think you're right.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm thinking of. So I
Zach
have no idea.
Braff is a guy who writes radio jingles that are no longer necessary, and thus he's fallen on hard times.
And Gabrielle Union is a former LA cop that is settling down.
I think
Or cheerleader. Hard to know.
no, I think she's a successful fashion executive who emasculates Zach Braff, because what wouldn't?
I think that they're gonna. I think one of them has to be an author of some sort.
Yeah,
Because I do feel like
that's right.
I feel like somewhere in there they're gonna be like, oh, the Cheaper by the Dozen book was created, and I don't. I guess it could be the kids, but I don't.
One of the kids is gonna have a blog
Oh, that could be.
or a podcast.
That could be.
Ooh, okay, wait. What if like they are the Baker family, but in the universe, like Steve Martin's movies or the original family's story exists as media?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, everyone always compares us to that one family that had a famous book written about them or whatever.
Sean Levy is an executive producer.
That could be. Yeah, I kind of wondered if like Zach Braff was gonna be like one of the kids grown up or something.
Ugh.
But
Oh, he could be. Oh my God.
maybe. And he also was like, let's have a big family.
I mean, he'd have to be like Tom Welling. Otherwise, like they're all way too young.
Yeah.
They're still young guys.
Hang on.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll see. Yeah, it premieres on Disney Plus this Friday. We'll be watching it and coming at you with the review next week. But before we get there, and in the meantime, where can people reach out?
Email us at sequelrights@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And if that doesn't work, just ski up onto our dock on your bare feet, dragged behind a boat.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, please rate and review us wherever you're listening. 5 stars goes a long way to helping other people find the show. We appreciate it.
That's right. And we'll see you guys next week for Cheaper by the Dozen 2022.
Someday, when my life has passed me by, I'll lay passerby.